Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another emotional chapter in the journey of one of Southeast Asia's brightest tennis lights, a story that continues to unfold under the intense glow of the world stage. The desert air of Abu Dhabi carried more than just the sound of tennis balls striking strings this week. It carried expectation, belief, and the unmistakable feeling that something meaningful was happening in the career of a young Filipina who keeps pushing boundaries. Eala walked into the Abu Dhabi Open not just as another name in the draw, but as a rising force carrying the hopes of a region that is slowly but powerfully carving its space in global tennis. This tournament was never going to be easy. The Abu Dhabi Open is a WTA 500 event, which means it sits firmly among the most competitive tournaments outside the Grand Slams and WTA 1000 events. The draw is stacked with elite players, experienced champions, and dangerous dark horses who can explode on any given day. Yet Eala did not arrive as a tourist. She arrived ready to fight for every rally, every game, and every inch of ranking progress. Her campaign began with a deeply personal first-round battle against Zeynep Sonmez, someone she shares a close friendship with off the court. Matches like that are never simple. There is respect, familiarity, and emotional complexity involved. But once the first ball is struck, friendship pauses and competition takes over. Eala delivered one of her most composed performances of the season, navigating pressure moments with maturity beyond her years and securing a victory that immediately set the tone for her tournament. That opening win was more than just progression in the draw. It guaranteed her at least second-round prize money and ranking rewards, an important detail in professional tennis where every round can reshape a player's season. By reaching round 2, she had already locked in stronger financial and ranking returns compared to a first-round exit, showing how critical early wins are at this level. But the real emotional heart of her tournament came in the second round against Alexandra Sasnovich. That match was chaos, drama, and resilience rolled into one unforgettable battle. At one point, Eala was staring at defeat, down heavily in the final set. Many players would have folded mentally. Many would have allowed frustration or fatigue to creep in. Instead, she found another gear. She clawed her way back, point by point, break by break, forcing momentum to shift. The comeback wasn't just physical. It was psychological warfare. By the time the match reached its deciding moments, you could feel the belief building inside her game. That victory pushed her into the quarterfinals, marking another milestone moment in her young but rapidly accelerating career. Reaching the quarterfinal stage of a WTA 500 tournament is not just symbolic. It carries massive practical value. Financially, it significantly boosts earnings. Performance-wise, it brings meaningful ranking points. By reaching the last 8 in Abu Dhabi, Eala secured approximately $35,000 in prize money, a substantial jump from earlier rounds and a reminder of how quickly rewards increase deeper into major tournaments. But as magical as her run was, the quarterfinal presented one of the toughest tests available on the WTA Tour. Waiting across the net was world number 11 and second seed Ekaterina Alexandrova, a player known for clean ball striking, aggressive baseline control, and the ability to shut down momentum quickly. The match ended in straight sets, 6-3, 6-3. On paper, that scoreline might look straightforward. In reality, it was a match filled with high-level rallies, long exchanges, and moments where Eala showed she absolutely belongs on courts against top 15 players. Losses like this are not just setbacks. They are measuring sticks. They show the remaining distance between rising contenders and established elites. And yet, here is where the story shifts from disappointment to achievement. Because even with the quarterfinal exit, the numbers tell a powerful story. At a WTA 500 event, reaching the quarterfinals earns a player 108 ranking points. That is not small. That is season-shaping. That is ranking moving. Those 108 points became the fuel for something bigger. Before the tournament, Eala was already sitting at a career-high ranking around world number 45. She entered Abu Dhabi knowing that a strong run could push her closer to the sport's elite tier. By reaching the quarterfinals and stacking those points, She positioned herself for another leap forward in the rankings ladder. And this is the moment that deserves to be said slowly, clearly, and with full appreciation for what it means. She is now projected to rise to world number 39 in the live rankings. Let that sink in. World number 39. You heard it correctly. World number 39. For many casual fans, that might just sound like another number. But inside professional tennis, breaking into the top 40 is like entering a new neighborhood of opportunity. It changes tournament seedings. It changes draw protection. It changes perception. It changes how opponents prepare for you. It signals that you are no longer just a rising name. You are a legitimate threat. For the Philippines, for Southeast Asia, and for young players watching from Manila to Jakarta, this ranking milestone carries emotional weight. It proves that the pathway to the top tier of tennis is not limited to traditional powerhouse nations. Financially, ranking progress also opens doors. Higher ranking means direct entry into bigger tournaments, better sponsorship visibility, and more chances to compete against the best week after week. The Abu Dhabi run was not just a tournament result. It was a career investment. And what makes this story even more compelling is timing. The WTA season is just heating up. Next on the horizon is the Qatar Open in Doha, one of the early WTA 1000 events of the season. These tournaments are massive ranking opportunities. Entry into main draws at this level often depends heavily on ranking position. Thanks to withdrawals in the draw, Eala secured main draw entry, giving her another huge stage to continue building momentum. Momentum in tennis is fragile but powerful. A good week can become a great month. A great month can transform a season. And seasons like that can define careers. What stands out most about Eala's Abu Dhabi campaign is not just the results. It is the evolution of her identity as a player. She is no longer just the talented junior, the Nadal Academy graduate, or the promising prospect. She is becoming a consistent tour-level competitor who can survive three-set wars, handle pressure stadium environments, and push top players into uncomfortable rallies. There is also the mental growth factor. Losing to a top seed in a quarterfinal can either discourage or motivate. Based on her trajectories so far, it is far more likely to become fuel. Because players who reach the top rarely do so in straight lines. They climb through losses that teach them pace control, point construction, and emotional endurance. The Abu Dhabi quarterfinal loss was not the end of story. It was a chapter in the middle of a much bigger narrative. And when you step back and look at the full picture, it becomes clear why this tournament matters so much. Strong opening win. Comeback thriller in round 2. Quarterfinal appearance at a major WTA event. $35,000 prize reward. 108 ranking points added. Projected rise into the world top 40. That is not just progress. That is acceleration. As the season moves forward, every match she plays now carries slightly different expectations. Opponents will study her patterns more carefully. Fans will expect deeper runs. Media will watch her results more closely. That is the reality of climbing the rankings. But if Abu Dhabi showed anything, it showed that she is ready for that pressure. Because greatness in tennis is rarely built on single breakthrough moments. It is built on stacking strong weeks, learning from elite opponents, and slowly turning potential into consistency. And right now, Eala is stacking those weeks. The tennis world is watching. Southeast Asia is believing. And somewhere, a new generation of young players is picking up rackets because they see someone who looks like them, represents them, and is proving that the global tennis stage is open to anyone brave enough to chase it. And if this trajectory continues, Abu Dhabi might one day be remembered not just as a good tournament result, but as the moment the climb into tennis's true elite tier truly began.